My name is EllieSaladin, and I work in the outdoor industry as a whitewater rafting guide. In this video, we are going to explore what it is like to be a woman in the outdoor industry, specifically rafting. Rafting is a craft that requires a specific skill set and mindset, and the outdoor industry itself is a culture that is changing and adapting every year. In order to understand the complexity of a woman's experience in this industry, you have to look through multiple lenses, such as feminism and psychology. The outdoor industry has been made a male-dominated industry for as long as it has been around. Therefore, many women have to do things differently in order to be successful, which can impact them both in positive and negative ways. I interviewed my coworker and friend Kate to give us more insight into her experience.
Being a woman in the whitewater community can be challenging with customers because they may not respect you or see you as a leader. So when you're asking them to paddle, they might not paddle and you might not get through that rapid safely. So it is definitely different. You have to kind of become more dominant, kind of really figure out how you can present yourself in a way that is respected, and sometimes you gotta yell and you gotta be sassy and you gotta break people down and build them back up again in order for you to be safe on the water.
Being a female guide is very rewarding. However, gaining the respect of customers and coworkers can sometimes take a few extra steps for a woman than it does for a man. Not only do we have to prove we are capable as a guide, but as a woman as well. Each woman may approach this differently. For example, some may choose to lead with more masculine leadership norms, while others may choose to use a more calmer and nurturing approach, which is stereotypically seen as feminine. Even if women act more masculine, they are still often described with feminine labels.
And so it can be definitely a social experiment every time as a woman, with being in a patriarchy as we are, with a bunch of older big men get in your boat. They definitely don't have the expectations that they do not expect what they're gonna get when you get on the water. They think it's more like a roller coaster ride and you're kind of their tour guide instead of really you're kind of a lot of the times a sergeant telling them, hey, you need to paddle now or we're gonna flip.
I wanted to get a man's perspective on this topic as well. Therefore, I interviewed the marketing director at a whitewater rafting outfitter in Western North Carolina.
I've been very fortunate to work with a lot of women in the outdoor industry. So I'd say that women have always been very integral, especially in Western North Carolina and North Carolina in general in the outdoor industry. But I would say that I'm actually seeing a lot more women and females in different roles, particularly marketing, CEOs of companies that I'm seeing a lot more of lately. And I think that's a super positive and amazing situation to be happening in our industry. I believe that women add a whole nother element beyond the patriarchal thought process. When I was young and in Boy Scouts, we camped all of the time, whereas the Girl Scouts traditionally did not. I think that's just that in and of itself. And then if you look towards the inclusionary thought process of where the scouting system has gone, and that women and girls are becoming more part of the Boy Scouts and things like that, just taking that as one example. But then seeing, like my daughter, who's 13, has already done more in her young life in the outdoors than I had from an adventure perspective. Besides camping and hiking, I had never done ziplining. I had never done whitewater rafting or rock climbing. My daughter at a very young age is already doing that. And I think that is at a great benefit from leaders in our world, that women leaders in our world that have changed that. And I think that that thought process has really opened up the outdoor industry. I was very fortunate in another role years ago to have met Sally Jewell, who is the CEO of REI, or was the CEO of REI at the time, became Secretary of the Interior under Obama. I think things like that are just absolutely amazing, and I really hope that trend continues.
Being a young woman in this industry has its challenges. However, the confidence, experiences, and communities that I have gained outweighs the barriers. People go into this industry for all different reasons, whether they are a man or a woman. The culture in rafting and other outdoor guide jobs is changing, and more women are finding themselves in this field. My hope is to inspire young girls just like the women before me inspired me.